My beloved child, it may be that at this very moment you find yourself encompassed by a thick darkness, standing in a bleak place where there seems to be absolutely no way out for your life. Yet, my child, quiet your heart and meditate upon the wondrous law of life that I have established in nature. A tiny seed can never germinate and grow into glorious fruition upon a barren, wind-swept mountain peak. It must first be hidden deep within the dark earth, undergoing a silent decay in the womb of Mother Earth before stretching upward to greet the morning light. You are the same. The fact that you now feel hidden, isolated from the world around you, is by no means because you have been abandoned or forgotten by this Father, but precisely because I am sheltering you and preparing you for a great mission that surpasses all human imagination. There are sacred and sublime callings that cannot be revealed too soon, for if they appear prematurely, the pride and distorted values of this world will corrupt and misdirect their pure nature. There are priceless spiritual gifts that can only manifest their utmost power when placed at the exact time, the perfect hour that I have ordained from the beginning. And I want to tell you that this glorious hour is drawing very near. Therefore, little one, I tenderly remind you to hold fast to a steadfast faith, keeping your heart always soft and pure before every trial. By no means allow the bitterness and resentment of life to choke the sacred spring of life flowing within you, and never permit temporary disappointment to cause you to turn back to the dark and archaic regions of your past. I have used my power and redeeming blood to lead you out of the prison of darkness, not to watch you lose heart and retreat, but so that you may walk courageously in the brilliant light of truth. Your soul has now been reborn. You no longer belong to the murky mire where you once lived. You are being invited by me to reach for a higher, more noble expanse, a spiritual realm where my holy presence is your true source of life, the breath that nourishes your soul, and the compass for your every direction. Press forward with courage, even if no one around you can comprehend your heart, and even if no companion shares your steps, for you must engrave upon your heart that you are never alone on this journey. I myself, your merciful Father, I am walking beside you every single second right now. And when you persevere without giving up, when you dare to take the next step even before an absolute void, it is at that very moment that your soul touches the center of a glorious destiny. Now, as you begin to perceive the powerful wave of movement and the mystical echoes in the depths of your spirit, I want you to courageously look directly into the spiritual reality that is about to manifest. This is no longer a season of vague, indefinite waiting, but the very hour when all creation begins a profound shift, completely apart from the calculations or anticipations of human reason, but according to the perfect plan that I have arranged. An old season filled with sorrows and desolation is gradually fading away, and a new era of grace is opening resplendently before your eyes. Understand that every event, every tear, and every pain you tasted in the past was not in the least meaningless, for all of them were necessary lessons of refinement. I permitted those things to happen, not so that you would merely learn to survive and resign yourself to fate like ordinary creatures, but to teach you how to walk through this world with the spiritual stability and serenity of a child who belongs to the heavens. There is an eternal and unchangeable principle in my kingdom. Before I bring those I have chosen into the promised land flowing with milk and honey, I always lead them through desolate wildernesses, where there is no earthly security whatsoever. I do this not at all to watch you waste away and become exhausted in hardship, but to train your ability to listen to and recognize my voice in the midst of a quiet expanse, free from the voices of men. Remember the historical journey of the people of Israel of old in the arid Sinai desert. It was there, where there were no human footprints and all earthly resources were exhausted, that I taught them what supernatural manna was, a sacred bread not made by human hands from the wheat of the earth. but a wondrous provision poured out directly from heaven every day. As it is written in the book of Deuteronomy, He fed you with manna, which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, that He might make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but man lives by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. It was also in the midst of that burning sand that I manifested supreme power by causing a refreshing stream of water to gush forth from the jagged rock, granting a pillar of fire to warm and guide them through the night, and spreading a divine cloud to shelter them and soothe the scorching heat of the day. You often think that to navigate this life, you must possess a detailed map with clear plans. But I tell you truly, the only thing you genuinely need is a heart of complete obedience in every small step according to the Father's will. For if you held a map in your hand, pride would arise within you, along with a tendency to lean on your own understanding and the limited wisdom of the flesh. But when you accept to walk, guided only by my gentle voice, you will learn the great lesson of absolute trust. It is that unwavering trust that will become an incomparable strength, keeping your soul upright and immutable before the turbulent ups and downs of external circumstances. It will serve as a secure spiritual anchor, holding your life fast so that it is not swept away amidst the fierce whirlpools of earthly adversity. And it will be a daily reminder that even when human eyes cannot see and human reason cannot comprehend, you are still being perfectly sheltered and led within the loving arms of your merciful Father. My beloved child, this Father wants you to engrave upon your heart that when the fullness of heavenly grace pours down upon your life, that is also the moment you must possess a completely new wineskin. I never pour new wine into the old. Brittle wineskins of the past, you cannot continue to hold on to the well-worn ruts of thinking, the impulsive, earthly reactions, or the selfish old lifestyles if you wish to receive the fresh current from on high. This is the sacred moment for you to completely surrender the desire to control all things according to your own will. A time to live each day in holy flexibility, moving and entrusting yourself entirely to the immediate promptings of my Spirit. Remember, this fullness is not bestowed to make you glorious or proud before men, but to transform you into a sharp and more useful instrument in my mighty hand. Be exceptionally careful and vigilant so that you do not lose yourself in the very blessings I bestow. Spiritual history has witnessed many who, when I opened wide the gates of glory, became so consumed with success and fame at the threshold that they heartlessly abandoned my holy presence. There are those who were placed in prominent positions among the crowds, yet allowed pride to defile the sanctity of their souls. I do not want that tragedy to happen to the beloved child of my heart. I desire that this explosion of grace does not cause you to lift your head in vanity, but on the contrary, must cause you to kneel even deeper in profound humility, knowing how to bow and serve humanity with an open heart. That is the truest and clearest sign of a spiritually mature soul, not one who possesses many gifts, but one who knows how to carry heavier responsibilities for their brethren while keeping a pure and unblemished heart before the eyes of the Father. When you accept to humble yourself, you will begin to experience that mighty current of power, not only touching and transforming your own life, but also continuously radiating and flowing powerfully through you to the world around. Bleeding and wounded souls out there will be wondrously healed when they listen to the words of truth coming from your lips. Those who are exhausted and despairing amidst the storms of life will find the light of true hope once more through your peaceful presence. And miraculously, all the things you once longingly expected others to do for you in the past, you will now voluntarily and joyfully do for them, not through the strained effort of the flesh, but by a great power from the grace that has overflowed and flooded within your soul. This is the historical turning point of your life, an era where there is no more room for delay, no shadow of ambiguity, and an eternal end to the days of wandering and loneliness. This is the time for you to courageously step into the sacred position assigned and mapped out for you from the beginning. and all the marvels you witness today are but the prelude to a grand epic. For I do not merely want to grant you a temporary miracle. I want to transform your very life into a living sign and wonder for an entire generation. You need to understand deeply that you were not redeemed for selfish comfort, but you were saved to be sent into the heart of the world. The glorious grace you receive from your merciful Father has never been and will never be for you alone. It always carries within itself a supreme divine command, a quiet yet powerful commission from the heavenly kingdom. I did not rescue you from the mire of sin merely for your own safety and quiet enjoyment of blessings. I did not grant you a miraculous restoration just so your earthly life would become easier and more luxurious. I heal your bleeding wounds to make you an instrument of healing for others. I pour the spring of living water into your heart so that you may become a rushing river of grace, flowing to the most arid and desolate lands of the soul. To execute this lofty mission, you do not need to wait for ordination or recognition from human organizations, nor do you need to be honored with any lofty titles or degrees of this world. Only a heart completely surrendered and absolutely obedient beneath my footstool is enough to mean you are officially sent, having become a plenipotentiary ambassador of the kingdom of heaven among mankind. This sacred commission does not necessarily begin from majestic pulpits or grand stages before tens of thousands of people, but it originates from the simplest things, from the warm dining table in your home, from the quiet hallways where you work every day, or from the comforting messages you send with a heart brimming with pure love. You once had long nights of restlessness, earnestly asking me in the silence how you could discern the true calling of your life. And today I tell you a great truth. Your calling is not at all an earthly profession to make a living, but it is a response of the Spirit. When you walk through life and see something broken that is contrary to the truth, a painful circumstance of lamentation, or a soul lost in darkness, and from the deepest depths of your being there rises a poignant sorrow and concern, so that your heart can no longer remain silent or indifferent, know that precisely in that place I have planted the seed of a sacred calling in your soul. And when you courageously respond to those adversities and pains with a boundless love, patient perseverance, and an unshakable faith, it is at that very moment that you are truly walking in the posture of one who is greatly commissioned. Even if no one around applauds you, and even if your life is not illuminated by the glamorous lights of worldly glory, this reminds us of the wondrous story of the life of the prophet Moses of old. When he was tending sheep on Horeb, the mountain of God, the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. He looked, and behold, the bush was burning, yet it was not consumed. As he drew near to see this strange sight, my voice called to him from the midst of the bush by name and said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because of their taskmasters. I know their sufferings. Come, I will send you to Pharaoh that you may bring my people out of Egypt. Moses trembled then before a mission so vast, but it was his response of compassion for his compatriots, combined with my power, that transformed an ordinary shepherd into a great leader who liberated an entire nation. Today, I also ask you with all the love and expectation of a father, are you willing to write a new page of history with me? Willing to live a life apart? Willing to let me completely own and direct your every turning point? If you are willing, then my beloved child, stand up courageously, open wide your soul, and receive the fullness of spiritual glory. For the gate of grace, for the new era, has been opened by me for your life. And once I have opened it, absolutely no power of darkness can shut it, and you will walk in my eternal victory. My beloved child, there is a paramount and sacred truth that you must always engrave upon your heart on every path of life. I am the Almighty Creator, yet I never impose my power or my holy presence upon any soul. I do not enter your life as a tyrannical invader. using force to seize your mind. I stand at the door of your heart and patiently knock, waiting for your own hand to voluntarily open it. I whisper gently in the silence, waiting for your spiritual ears to listen. I intentionally create pure moments of stillness amidst a loud life, only waiting for my little child to turn around and seek the Father. For the heart of this Father desires that the deep intimacy between me and you must be built securely on the foundation of a voluntary, pure love, and absolutely not from fear or forced compulsion. Because of this, your vigilance and recollection in this moment carry boundless value before my throne of glory. It is the most powerful testament that your soul is completely ready to step out of the realm of darkness and enter into a deeper, more wondrous dimension of life, the heavenly dimension, where I stand, waiting to meet you, to commune, to bestow upon you the divine spring of celestial understanding that this world can never give, and a true, consummate peace that no earthly force can steal from your soul. When you accept to shed your worldly vision to begin beholding this life through a lens filled with spiritual light, you will realize with astonishment that nothing in this world happens meaninglessly or by chance. The grueling trials, though painful and causing you to shed tears, all contain a sacred purpose of refinement. The long dreams, though vague and strange, are codes carrying messages from the heavenly realms. Even human relationships, though brief or fraught with obstacles, are invaluable lessons to forge love and altruism within you. And above all things, you will realize a living truth, that I have never left you for even a fraction of a second. I am always very near, right beside you, patiently waiting for you to return after your days of wandering, not to utter reproaches, condemn you, or reopen old wounds, but to open wide my merciful arms, hold you tightly to my heart, and whisper into your ear the unchangeable word of love, my child. Father is always here with you. Everything I perform in the work of creation carries a perfect purpose and destiny. Not a single movement of the stars in this vast universe is superfluous or in vain. For that reason, your presence upon this earth, in this form and soul, is also never an accident of fate. You are not created merely to exist monotonously, spinning wearily in the daily material anxieties of food, clothing, and money, or rushing after fleeting dreams of fame that pass like the morning dew. You have been placed by me at this exact time, in these exact circumstances, and in this specific line of history, because I have a great plan, a clear and unique intention reserved for your life. As it is written in the book of the prophet Jeremiah, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you. I appointed you a prophet to the nations." If you will listen, if you know how to close the door of your heart to enter into the sacred silence of prayer, you will hear that call of destiny echoing clearly, resounding louder than ever before. Has it ever occurred that in the quiet of the night, from the deepest recesses of your heart, you felt as though something immensely great was patiently waiting for you ahead? As though your soul was continuously longing and aching for a glorious reality that mortal eyes have never seen, human ears have never heard, and the heart of man has never conceived, believe me, my beloved child. That sacred feeling is by no means an idle imagination or an illusion of emotion. It is the echo from the radiant destiny that I have personally traced for you since the dawn of creation. Before the heavens and the earth were made, even if your present living conditions have fallen into chaos and turmoil, even if over the past days you have seen only gray clouds and dark dead ends surrounding you, still at the ultimate, the deepest part of your soul, there always exists a faint, smoldering light, a vague yet profoundly deep awareness that surely there must be something greater, something holier waiting for me. And indeed, that marvel is truly waiting for you. But it does not lie in the worldly wealth and luxury out there. It is hidden right inside your own spiritual being. In the mortal world out there, people continuously teach one another to frantically pursue power, compete for social status, and accumulate material success, to use them as measures, as proofs of a person's worth. Yet, this Heavenly Father never tallies or evaluates the worth of your soul by your prominence or glamour in the eyes of the world. My eyes look through every external layer. I look into the deepest, the most reverent place where you dare to live honestly with yourself, a place completely free from artificial embellishment, free from the masks of clever ambition, where you are but a simple, small creature thirsting for absolute truth, precisely in that pristine and sincere place. I lay the cornerstone to build a firm foundation for the eternal communion between me and you. This sacred bond is established not by the grandeur or ostentation of external actions, but by the very sincerity and purity of a heart that knows how to love and surrender. This reminds us of the ancient, miraculous story of the boy Samuel in the temple of Shiloh. At that time, he was still young and did not yet know the voice of the Lord. In the quiet of the night, before the lamp in the temple went out, I called out, "Samuel, Samuel." The boy thought it was the voice of the old priest Eli, so he ran to answer him several times, until the priest realized that I myself was calling the boy and taught him how to respond. When the call came for the fourth time, Samuel prostrated himself in the simplest, most genuine innocence of a child and said, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." It was from that moment of simple, unmasked openness of heart that Samuel's life stepped into a new dimension. He became a brilliant prophet, a faithful watchman leading an entire nation to walk in the light of truth. Today, I am also standing beside your bed, amidst the dark night of your life, tenderly calling your name. Lay down all the pride and anxieties of the world, beloved child of my heart, and speak to me with all the sincerity of your heart, so that your Father may fill you with new life and lead you into the glorious harvest of eternal life. Ponder and recall the times you thought you were completely exhausted, collapsed, and utterly unable to take another step. Yet miraculously, you still stood firm and walked for another day, and then many more days through adversity. That was absolutely not a coincidence or due to the strength of your own flesh, but it was my infinite source of power continuously going forth, weaving gently into every cell, every thought, and warming your every decision. Those were the times this Father bent down, lifted you high with powerful, invisible arms, supporting and carrying you when your feet were too weary on the long stretches of burning sand. I performed all those marvels not because you fulfilled every religious duty excellently to strike a bargain, but simply because you belong entirely to me. You are the flesh, the blood, the breath of my heart. The eternal spiritual identity of your life has never originated from or been defined by humiliating failures or temporary earthly successes, but is built upon an unchangeable truth. You are a child of the Almighty Creator, and it is from this noble heavenly identity that I want you, from this day forward, to courageously step into a completely new way of living, a holy lifestyle, no longer dominated or bound by dark fear, nor defined or manipulated by the narrow pressures and prejudices of the world. You no longer have to wearily place yourself in balances, comparing your own journey with anyone else out there, because I have personally written a unique story for your life, a wondrous program of salvation that is never replicated, nor do you need to exhaust your mind trying to prove your worth before men through material achievements. For the true value of your soul has been priced by my holy blood and sealed with glory since before the world was formed. Let your heart rest. Let it be refreshed in that perfect truth, so that from this secure foundation, you may proactively walk with dignity, standing firm upon the rock without ever being shaken or swayed by what mortal eyes see or human ears hear, so that when the new season of grace is officially and completely opened, you will realize with wonder that every single moment of weary waiting in the past, every interval of desolate loneliness, or even your every silent sacrifice that could not be put into words, were all living, precious bricks used by me to build an unyielding, indomitable inner strength within your soul. You will perceive clearly to understand that every delay and postponement you once complained about was actually a miraculous opportunity for me to perfect the work of sanctification within you, and that absolutely no tear, no pain is wasted under the generous hand of the Creator. When you are willing to walk entirely within the sacred timing that I have appointed, you will witness with awe how everything, every event in life, locks together perfectly, precisely as the gears of a heavenly mechanism mesh to move smoothly and beautifully. And when all my steadfast promises for your life officially become a visible reality, you will not only receive abundant blessings for yourself, but you will officially become a conduit of grace, a mighty river of life flowing so that those blessings radiate far and wide, causing all nations when looking at your life to bow down and acknowledge that I am the living God, the one who still acts with power, who still loves his creation with an everlasting love, and the one who keeps his promise of salvation unto all generations eternally.